Hello, in this video, let's discuss Cramer's rule on a 3 by 3 matrix. Let us begin with this system of equations that I'm going to write on the board. Alright, so this is our system of equations in 3 variables. And if you haven't watched yet the Cramer's rule 2 by 2 videos, I highly suggest that you watch it first so that you will be able to catch up in this topic, because this topic is very much related to the Cramer's rule 2 by 2. Okay? So, with that being said, let's begin. First, let's identify the determinant. Okay? So, D is equal to, let us write the coefficients of xyz on the left side of each equations. For the first column, we have -1, +4, +1. -1, +4, +1. For the second column, the coefficients of y, +1, -1, +2. Again, +1, -1, +2. For the third column, the coefficients of the variable z, 1, 4, -1. 1, 4, -1. A while ago, we have discussed how to find the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. And the first step is to copy the first two columns outside to the right. So let's copy first this column, -1, 4, and 1. And then this second column, 1, -1, and 2. And the next step here is we will perform the basket method. Let us multiply diagonally downwards from left to right. So D is equal to, first, -1 times -1 times -1, that's -1. Plus 1 times 4 times 1, that is 4. Plus 1 times 4 times 2, that's 8. And then minus, multiply diagonally upwards. 1 times -1 times 1, that's -1. Plus 2 times 4 times -1, that's -8. And then plus -1 times 4 times 1, that's -4. Let's simplify. D is equal to -1 plus 4 plus 8, that is 11, minus -1 plus -8 plus -4, that's -13. And finally, 11 plus 13, that's equal to 24. So this is our determinant D of the matrix. Okay? Next, we have to solve for dx. Okay? So for dx, we will replace all the coefficients of x variables by -3, -14, and 9. So instead of -1, 4, and 1, we use this. So -3, -14, and 9. And then copy the rest. So I'm going to copy these two columns. And then, of course, we have to copy the first two columns outside. Now we can perform the basket method. Multiply diagonally from left to right, downwards. So -3 times -1 times -1, that's -3. And then plus 1 times 4 times 9, that's 36. Plus 1 times -14 times 2, that's -28. And then minus, multiply diagonally upwards. 9 times -1 times 1, that's -9. Plus 2 times 4 times -3, that's -24. And then plus -1 times -14 times 1, that's 14. And if we simplify, -3 plus 36 plus -28, that's 5. Minus -9 plus -24 plus 14, that's -19. Which means dx is equal to 5 plus 19. 5 plus 19 is 24. All right? Next, let us solve for dy. For dy, we will replace all the coefficients of variable y by negative 3, negative 14, and 9. So first, negative 1, 4, and 1 for x. And then for y, negative 3, negative 14, and 9. And for z, 1, 4, and negative 1. 1, 4, negative 1. And to perform the basket method, we will copy the first two columns outside. dy is equal to, we will multiply diagonally downwards from left to right. Negative 1 times negative 14 times negative 1, that is negative 14, plus negative 3 times 4 times 1, that's negative 12, plus 1 times 4 times 9, that's 36. Minus, multiply diagonally upwards. 1 times negative 14 times 1, that's negative 14, plus 9 times 4 times negative 1, that's negative 36, plus negative 1 times 4 times negative 3, that's positive 12. Now we can solve for dy. So dy is equal to negative 14 minus 12 plus 36, that is equal to positive 10. And then minus negative 14 minus 36 plus 12, that's negative 38. And therefore, dy is equal to 48. Next, let us solve for dz. For dz, we have to copy the coefficients of x and y variables. But for the coefficients of the z variable, we have to replace them with negative 3, negative 14, and 9. And in order to do the basket method, we have to copy the first two columns outside. dz is equal to, multiply diagonally downwards. So negative 1 times negative 1 times 9, that's positive 9. Plus 1 times negative 14 times 1, that is negative 14. Plus negative 3 times 4 times 2, that's negative 24. And then minus, multiply diagonally upwards. 1 times negative 1 times negative 3, that's positive 3. Plus 2 times negative 14 times negative 1, that is positive 28. And then plus 9 times 4 times 1, that's 36. All right? dz is equal to 9 minus 14 minus 24, that's negative 29. Minus 3 plus 28 plus 36, that's 67. And therefore, dz is equal to negative 96. So just a quick recap, d is equal to 24, dx is equal to 24, dy is equal to 48, and dz is equal to negative 96. Therefore, we can now solve for the values of x, y, and z. The value of x is equal to dx over d. dx is 24 divided by d, and the value of d is also 24, which means x is equal to 1. Y is equal to dy over d. dy is 48 over d. d is 24. And this is equal to 2. And z is equal to dz over d. dz is equal to negative 96 over D, which is 24. And negative 96 divided by 24 is negative 4. So here's our ordered triple. Therefore, the solution is 1, 2, negative 4. Let us try one more. Here's another example of a system of equations in 3 variables. So, we have to determine or we have to solve for the determinant. For the determinant, we just have to copy the x, y, and z coefficients. The first column, 1, 2, and 4. The second column, negative 3, 3, and negative 3. And the third column, we have 3, negative 1, negative 1. To perform the basket method, copy the first two columns outside. 1, 2, 4, negative 3, 3, negative 3. Multiplying diagonally downwards from left to right, so D is equal to 1 times 3 times negative 1, that is negative 3, plus negative 3 times negative 1 times 4, that's positive 12, plus 3 times 2 times negative 3, that's negative 18, minus multiply diagonally upwards. 4 times 3, that's 36, plus negative 3 times negative 1 times 1, that's 3, plus negative 1 times 2 times negative 3, that's positive 6. Let's simplify. Negative 3 plus 12 plus negative 18, that's negative 9, minus 36, 39, 45. Negative 9 minus 45 is negative 54. So this is our determinant. Now let's move forward to dx. For dx, we have to replace all the x coefficients by negative 4, 15, and 19. So negative 4, 15, 19. And then let's copy the rest of the columns. Let's copy the first two columns outside. Now, dx is equal to, we have to multiply diagonally downwards from left to right. Negative 4 times 3 times negative 1, that is positive 12, plus negative 3 times negative 1 times 19, that's 57, plus 3 times 15 times negative 3, that is negative 135, and then minus, multiply diagonally upwards. 19 times 3, that is 171, plus negative 3 times negative 1 times negative 4, that's negative 12, plus negative 1 times 15 times negative 3, that is positive 45, so 45. Dx is equal to 12 plus 57 minus 135, that is negative 66, and then minus 171 minus 12 plus 45, that is 204. And dx is equal to, just evaluate this, negative 270. Next, let's determine dy. So for dy, let's copy the coefficients of x and z. And for the coefficients of y, we will replace them with these values. So 1, 2, and 4. And then for the y, becomes negative 4, 15, 19, and then 3, negative 1, negative 1. Next, copy the first two columns outside. Therefore, dy is equal to multiply diagonally downwards from left to right. 1 times 15 times negative 1, that's negative 15, plus negative 4 times negative 1 times 4, that is positive 16, plus 3 times 2 times 19, that's positive 114. And then minus, multiply diagonally upwards. 4 times 15 times 3, that is 180. And then plus 19 times negative 1 times 1, that's negative 19. Plus 1, rather negative 1 times 2 times negative 1 times 2 times negative 4, that's positive 8. dy is equal to negative 15 plus 16, that's 1, plus 114, so 115. Minus 180 minus 19 plus 8, so that's 169. And finally, 115 minus 169, that's negative 54. Next, of course, dz. For dz, we will replace all the coefficients of z. So let's copy first the coefficients of x and y. And then replace by this. So negative 4, 15, 19. Next is the basket method. So we have to copy first the first two columns. 1, 2, 4, negative 3, 3, and negative 3. dz is equal to multiply diagonally downwards from left to right. 1 times 3 times 19, that's 57, plus negative 3 times 15 times 4, that's negative 180, plus negative 4 times 2 times negative 3, that's positive 24, minus multiply diagonally upwards from left to right. 4 times 3 times negative 4, that's negative 48, plus negative 3 times 15 times 1, that's negative 45, plus 19 times 2 times negative 3, that's negative 114. Let's simplify. dz. 57 minus 180 plus 24, that's negative 99, minus negative 48 plus negative 45 plus negative 114, that's negative 207. And negative 99 minus negative 207, so that becomes plus. Negative 99 plus 207 is 108. Okay, so to recap, our value for d is negative 54. dx is negative 270. dy is equal to negative 54. And dz is 108. So, the value of x is equal to dx over d. dx is negative 270 divided by d. d is negative 54. Negative 270 divided by negative 54, that is positive 5. Next, y is equal to dy over d. And dy is negative 54 over d, which is also negative 54. So y is equal to positive 1. And lastly, z is equal to dz over d equals dz is 108 over d, which is negative 54. 108 divided by negative 54 is negative 2. So this is our ordered triple. Therefore, the solution is the ordered triple 5, 1, negative 2.